Today, we are diving into something that's at the absolute heart of effective teaching, the collaboration conundrum. We're going to unpack the huge difference between just cooperating with your team and truly collaborating. And you'll see why getting this right is the secret to creating assessments that are way more fair and consistent for all our students.
So let's just start with a quick gut check. Think about your last team meeting. Were you guys really, truly collaborating, or were you just cooperating? It might sound like I'm splitting hairs, but that little difference, it changes everything, for us as educators and for our students. A lot of what we call collaboration is, well, something else entirely.
Does this sound familiar to anyone? I mean, that feeling of being completely drained, of wrestling with tasks that feel fuzzy, and feeling like you're on an island, even when you're in a team meeting. This quote really nails that frustration. And that burnout, it's often a giant red flag that your team is stuck in a cycle of cooperation, not true collaboration.
All right, so let's get right into it. What is the real difference between these two words? Because once we understand this, we can start to transform how we work together, especially when it comes to something as high stakes as student assessment.
Here's a simple way to think about it. Cooperation is often about compliance. It's helping someone else get their job done. It can be kind of passive. Everyone's focused on their own individual piece of the puzzle. Collaboration, though, that's totally different. It's active. It's about everyone having shared ownership and working towards one collective goal. You're not just helping someone with their part, you're building our work together.
Okay, let's dig into this table, because this is where the rubber meets the road in a school. In that cooperative column, you see those siloed roles, right? The science teacher sticks to science, the art teacher sticks to art, ideas come from individuals, and the process feels a lot like following orders. And what's the outcome? Burnout, limited growth. Now look at the collaboration side. Roles are interconnected, you get this amazing collective thinking and shared decision-making. And the result? Shared knowledge and a much, much better quality of work, like an assessment task that everyone on the team actually understands, believes in, and owns.
So theory is great, but what does this actually look like in practice? Let's check out a real-world case study where a group of teachers used some eye-opening student data to make that leap from cooperation to genuine collaboration.
So take a look at this. This is the data that started it all. A team of English teachers noticed that only 1.8% of their Year 10 students were hitting the top band for spelling. Compare that to over 10% for the region. Whoa, that's not just a small dip, that's a massive, glaring gap that they couldn't ignore.
And this quote, this is that light bulb moment for the team. They realized this wasn't an issue with one teacher's class or a handful of students. When they looked at the data together, it was clear this was a systemic pattern. The way they had been doing things, probably in their own separate classrooms, just wasn't getting the job done.
So what was the big takeaway for them? They decided those generic one-size-fits-all programs had to go. The only path forward was to completely rewrite their approach, and here's the key, to do it collaboratively. This is that crucial shift from just identifying a problem to taking collective ownership and building a standardized approach that would actually meet the needs of their students.
Now, this idea of collaboratively designing a standardized approach isn't just for a single department. You can scale this up across an entire school. And thankfully, there are frameworks out there like the IB Primary Years Program, the PYP, that give you a powerful structure for doing this kind of deep collaborative work.
At the very core of a framework like the PYP is this incredible idea, transdisciplinarity. Now, that's a mouthful, I know, but it just means learning that breaks out of the boxes of traditional subjects. It's about connecting learning to what's real and relevant in the world, and that forces teachers to get out of their silos and collaborate on the big picture.
And I absolutely love this analogy because it makes it so clear. You've got your multidisciplinary model. That's the mixed salad. All the ingredients are there in the bowl, but the carrots are still carrots and the lettuce is still lettuce. Then you have the interdisciplinary model, the stew. Things are starting to blend together. But the transdisciplinary model, that's the cake. The flour, the eggs, the sugar, they're transformed into something completely new. And that's the real goal of deep collaboration.
So how do you bake that cake? The PYP gives you 6 huge, overarching themes to work with. Think of these as the common ground for the entire school. They ensure that every student, from their first day to their last, is part of a cohesive and connected learning journey. It's the bedrock for standardizing your curriculum and, just as importantly, your assessment practices.
And this right here is so important. This process needs everyone on board, the classroom teachers, the art teacher, the PE teacher, everyone. It's not about just finding a way to cram your subject into a theme. It's about everyone working together to creatively reimagine how subjects can be woven together to explore these big, powerful ideas.
So let's tie this all together. Why do we care so much about this shift from cooperation to collaboration? Well, because it's how you build a genuine, school-wide culture of shared understanding. And nowhere is that more critical than when we're assessing student learning.
So if there's anything to take away from our chat today, it's this. Real collaboration means everyone feels that sense of shared ownership for student success. It turns data into a powerful tool for change. And listen, standardization is not about making everyone a robot. It's about creating an equitable and consistent experience for all kids. Because at the end of the day, a shared understanding of what we're assessing is the only way to be truly fair.
And that brings us to the ultimate goal. In other IB programs like the MYP and DP, you have external moderation, where the IB tracks assessments to keep everything consistent globally. But in the PYP, that responsibility falls on the school. It's all about internal standardization. This makes collaborative design and moderation sessions absolutely non-negotiable. The #1 goal is making sure every single staff member has the exact same understanding of the assessment criteria. That's how we guarantee fairness for every student in every classroom.
So I'll leave you with this to think about. Next time you look at one of your team's planning documents, ask yourself, is this just a list of tasks that have been divided up, basically a paper trail of cooperation? Or is it a living, breathing testament to true collaboration, showing how you are all working together to build something richer and more equitable for your students?